Hello, everyone. I'm just going to wait another minute or two, get a few more people on, and we'll get started. All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Aubrey Cook-Cesarone. I'm the clinical director here at PrimeIV in Bluebell, and I'm so excited that you're here. So tonight, we're going to be diving deep into the world of cellular rejuvenation and stuff that literally keeps your cells alive. Uh, it keeps them energized and on point. Let's see if NAD and Niagen is it for you. So I'm here to educate and answer any questions that you may have about your NAD and Fountain of Youth journey. So what you'll learn, here's what you're going to get from tonight's webinar here. You're going to understand why your body might be feeling older or even more sluggish than it should, and how NAD is a major player in that. You're going to learn how Niagen, which is a precursor to NAD, and how it can help you restore those levels, how you can feel sharper, feel younger, and even support your mental health. Plus, I'm going to walk you through exactly how it works and why it might not be for you. And we're going to finish with some questions and an exclusive VIP offer for only the attendees of this webinar. All right, how's that sound? Let's get started. So a little bit about me. I'm your host today. My name is Aubrey Cook-Cesarone. Like I said, I'm an RN with a BSN, and I also have my PCCN certification. I'm a graduate of Gwinnett Mercy University. I have 8 years of critical care experience background in advanced heart failure and heart transplant. But now I am a dedicated wellness RN here at Prime IV in Bluebell. A fun fact about me is I have 8-month-old boy-girl twins, and I have a 1.5-year-old Irish setter. Um, in the hospital setting, I saw firsthand how traditional medicine didn't always solve fatigue, brain fog, or even mood issues or mental health issues and that is what led me here. I'm now pretty obsessed with helping people rebuild from the inside out using safe, evidence-based wellness therapies. I also really love making personalized wellness plans for all of our clients and seeing them on their wellness journey and seeing their transformation firsthand from the inside out and on a regular basis. We have members come monthly, weekly, bi-weekly, whatever works for them, and they're constantly checking in with us, and we get really attached to our clients. Uh, all right, so moving on. What is NAD? So, a little bit of a loaded question. So, NAD stands for, and I don't expect you to remember this, stands for nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. Um, just call it NAD, and everyone will probably know what you're talking about. It's getting pretty popular recently. So, NAD helps your body make energy. It's involved in important steps of your body's natural energy making process, and that's the Krebs cycle, and it kickstarts your body's reactions and chemical reactions in your body in order to help it properly function. And it also powers your cells. It plays a big role in making what's called ATP. Do we remember that from grade school? ATP, energy. It's the main energy source that your cells, it keeps your cells going and keeps you going. And ATP cannot function without NAD. NAD fights cell damage. It acts like a shield in reducing harmful molecules called free radicals. And that can cause stress and aging on your body. So NAD protects us against that. It supports anti-aging. So this is something that, like I said, it's starting to get popular and you're starting to see it like on TikTok, on TV, on podcasts. Joe Rogan talks a lot about it. And if you watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians, there's actually a scene where Kendall and Hailey Bieber are getting an IV together. And Haley says this line that says, and I have a couple of friends that have sent me this on TikTok recently, I'm going to NAD for the rest of my life and never age. And that's because she says that because NAD helps repair DNA and it may even help your cells live longer by protecting their caps, which are also called telomeres. We don't have to get way into that science stuff. It improves how you feel on the inside. It supports overall health, vitality. It helps you feel more energized and balanced. And what I love the most about it is it protects your brain. Our brain is so important. It's very good for the brain health. It helps protect and even repair brain cells. Now, the bad news about NAD, and it's not about the NAD product, but more so about NAD levels, is when we're 20, we have a bunch of NAD. We can run and run and run and do all these different things, but as you age, you don't feel like you did when you were younger. Um, it declines as we age and with life experiences. So, overtraining, immune stress, excess sun exposure, sedentary lifestyle, overnutrition and alcohol, environmental factors. So, as we age, NAD levels are coming down, right? But these are knocking it down while it's already down. So by the time you're 40, you have about half of the NAD in your body that you had when you were 20. And that's like running your car on no fuel every day. It's no wonder you feel slower, older, or more foggy. You're literally running on a quarter of a tank of gas and you didn't even know it. So you imagine how you would feel on a full tank of gas? Like if you're running like this down here, what if we brought you up here? You would be functioning so much better in your life. Um, so what is Niagen? So that was all NAD. What's Niagen? So Niagen is the brand name, the patented form of something called nicotinamide riboside. It's actually a rare form of vitamin B3 and it's water soluble. So what that means is that your body absorbs it really well. But what makes it really awesome is how well it helps your cells. Unlike NAD, which takes a few extra steps into getting into the cell because it's such a big coenzyme, and we'll get more into that. Niagen is like a VIP guest. It's like, all right, let's get them in here. Like it gets in really quick, it gets in faster, it converts into NAD quickly and more efficiently, and that means your cells get the support that they need in order to do what they need to do instead of with NAD. Niagen, it's clean, it's effective, and the benefits last longer actually. Honestly, Niagen is one of the our favorite tools for people who want to optimize how they feel, how they think, and recover, especially if they're just getting started in their cellular wellness and on their wellness journey. This is something great for them. It's very subtle and it's very sensitive to people, but I mean, it's powerful when you do it the right way. And so let's get into the differences, the real differences between NAD and Niagen. So NAD is the actual coenzyme that is in the body used to create energy. But when you receive an NAD infusion, it has to be broken down. And this is where some people experience side effects. And so NAD getting into the cell, it can't get into the cell, right? Because it's too big. So it has to break down, get into the cell, and build back up. So in order to and when it's breaking down, excuse me, people may experience some side effects, and NAD infusions take longer. For 500 milligrams, it has to infuse in at least 2 hours, but 1,000 milligrams for complete brain regeneration or addiction recovery, it is a minimum of 3 hours, and that is for a reason. So let's just talk 500 milligrams. That's a very common dose that we have a lot of our clients at. So a minimum of 2 hours because you want your body to appropriately absorb the NAD. If you infuse it too fast, not only is it going to be uncomfortable and you're going to experience those very fast side effects of nausea, chest tightness, head fullness, and just feeling pretty crappy, you're not gonna, your body's not gonna absorb that amount of NAD that fast. It needs time. The body needs to take time in order to absorb that amount of NAD. So that's why it takes longer. And we have clients that, okay, 2 hours is just enough for them. But, if they're feeling too uncomfortable or if you're feeling too uncomfortable during your NAD infusion, we're going to titrate. So we're going to turn the infusion down to infuse slower so that you don't experience those side effects as severely as you were. Um, so yeah, I mean, it can take some time because of that breaking down process. Unlike NAD, which takes those few extra steps to get into the cell, Niagen doesn't have to break down. So Niagen's a precursor. Um, to NAD. It converts into NAD, it enters the cell faster and with fewer side effects. It basically skips over all of those side effects and that breaking down process to get right into the cell. So you're skipping those side effects of, nausea, chest tightness, sweating, stomach discomfort. But you still might experience some side effects with Niagen because it's triggering the mitochondria to respond in a way. And some of those side effects that we've seen are jaw tingling, or like something around here, like in the tooth. I've had a few people explain it as biting into an ice cream cone. A little bit of sensitivity here, or maybe some congestion. But it's only a typically experience with both of them, both NAD and Niagen. You're only experiencing the side effects during the infusion. Once the infusion is finished and you're on your way out of our clinic, you start to feel a lot better as far as the side effects go. Um, so which is better? Both are great. They're just different tools. If you want something stronger, therapeutic, NAD is the way to go. Niagen does the same thing. Obviously, they do the same thing and increase NAD levels. It's easier. It's a gentler path. It has amazing long-lasting side effects. It typically lasts longer than NAD. Um, but yeah, both are great. They both do the same thing, which is what we want to do. We want to increase our NAD levels. We want to feel better. We want to trigger the fountain of youth. We want to jump right on in head first into that fountain of youth, right? So here we go. The metaphor time. This is my favorite time. So typically, and especially if you joined us in our last webinar back in April, or if you have been in for a consultation with me or one of our nurses, the metaphor that I usually use to explain NAD and Niagen is getting into a house. And I love that metaphor, and a lot of people understand NAD and Niagen when I use that metaphor. However, I found a better one that I think is cooler. But I'll tell you both. So you're trying to get into a house and you're NAD. You're getting an NAD infusion. So NAD's trying to get into a house, right? That's the ultimate goal, to get it into the cell and build up and bring up your NAD levels. So it's raining outside. You're trying to get into your house. You need to find the key. It's under a rock somewhere. There's a bunch of rocks. You don't know which rock. And that rain and the process of breaking down is you finding that key, but it's raining. So there goes the sweating. There goes the nausea. There goes the chest tightness, the chest heaviness, the possible headache, just feeling crappy because it's a rainstorm, right? You're looking for the key, looking for the key. It's a breaking down process. It takes quite a bit. Finally, you find the key and you get into the house. And then there goes NAD's whole process. It took a little longer. Niagen already has the key. It's right into the house, boom, right into the cell. So that's what I typically like to tell people. But now I've figured out a new metaphor. I think it's really, really fun is getting NAD. So we're going back to NAD is like standing in line for Space Mountain, if that's a ride anymore. I don't know. I don't even know if that's a ride. Um, it's 95 degrees. There are a million people. You have to wait it out. You're waiting like 3 hours to get on Space Mountain, right? You may even be getting a little cranky while you do it. That's the inflammatory process of NAD that triggers during infusion while it's breaking down, right? That heat, that annoyance, everything like that. Eventually, you get on the ride, and it was worth it. But it took effort and it took sweat, but you loved it and you loved the effect of the ride on you, right? Niagen, Disney Fast Pass. You walk past the line, you breeze right in, and boom, you're on the ride. No heat, no crowd, no frustrations. Same ride, same destination, same journey, way better journey, same same result. And you love Space Mountain. So that's another little metaphor that I think also is great in explaining the difference in NAD and Niagen and how it enters the cell. All right, now this is one of my favorite topics because so many of us are silently struggling with mental health issues and energy and clarity and emotional burnout. Um, NAD and Niagen can be game changers for mental health. They help regulate neurotransmitters like serotonin, norepinephrine, and dopamine. These are chemicals that keep our mood, our focus, our motivation, all of those things balanced. Um, but what does that mean? What does that mean for me? It means that NAD and Niagen may help support you in things like reducing depression, reducing anxiety, alleviating your emotional fatigue, sharpening your mental clarity, improving resilience to daily stress, supporting deeper and more restorative sleep. For many clients, one of the first things they notice is that it isn't just more energy that they're feeling, they feel mentally lighter. Like the fog has lifted. They're more like how they used to be. They're more like themselves again. And they just feel better. So mental health is NAD and Niagen are great to support mental health. And everyone needs a little bit of that sometimes. Now, chronic conditions. Let's talk about some of the conditions that we can support. Post-viral fatigue, long COVID, multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's, early, mid-stage dementia, chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia, Lyme disease, immune dysregulation, a bunch of chronic conditions, just to name a few. That's here. We can help a bunch of different things. Now, these are not cures. They're tools. NAD and Niagen can help support and boost mitochondrial function, reduce oxidative stress, and increase the energy availability at the cellular level. Now, that is especially important when you're fighting many of these chronic conditions. So, if you're someone that like someone that's tried everything and you still feel stuck, you still feel you're fatigued, you have flare-ups all the time, and you're like, I don't know what else to do. I feel like I've done everything. I'm eating right, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I think I found your powerful piece to this puzzle that you've just been missing. Um, we can help a lot of different things. We can support a lot of different conditions. So if you're suffering from any of these, you better be stepping into our doors. And this is just a midway check-in. And this kind of leads me into the QR code that you see in the corner there. That QR code in the corner, it brings you directly to our Prime IV Bluebell DigiCard. Now, this is the time that I ask that if you've had any questions, put them in the chat now. So by the time I get to the end of the presentation, you can type them in there. By the time I get to the end of the presentation, I can answer them for some people. So if you have anything that's coming across your mind, put it in the chat and I will get to them. But like I said, this QR code in the corner, it brings you directly to our DigiCard and you can see everything that we offer. You can hear our reviews, get some great information. We have video testimonials on there from real clients of ours. Our clients are great. They're some of the best clients out there. And we love them just as much as they love us because not only do we support them and we make them feel better, but seeing that firsthand and how we can support people is just amazing. It's a great feeling. So again, scan that digicard, that QR code, you can screenshot it. And then if you go to your photos, hold into that, that'll bring you right to the website. Or if you're watching this on a computer or a TV or anything, you can scan it right there, bring you right to our digicard. And then it can tell you how to schedule an appointment with us as well. You can text us from there too. It'll come right to me. I can answer any questions if you didn't want to ask it in the chat today as well. And I can answer your questions directly. Okay, so let's be real. NAD and Niagen, unfortunately, it's not for everyone. And if you've had cancer or you're in treatment currently for cancer, NAD and Niagen are not recommended. Why? I get this question all the time. Why? Because NAD supports rapid cellular repair and regeneration, which is usually great, right? But in someone with active or recent or even in the past, any type of cancer history, there's a potential risk. And I say potential because we're not sure if this happens because there's not enough research or studies available. It is a potential that this kind of stimulation in our cell regeneration could support the wrong type of cell growth. We don't want to replicate and we don't want to stimulate bad cells or any cancer cells. So until more research is available on this, um, we don't recommend Niagen for the or NAD or Niagen for those people because we play it safe. We also don't recommend NAD or Niagen for individuals with significant liver or kidney impairment or disease, any issues with those because these organs, they're responsible for processing nutrients. And if they're not functioning well, you may not be able to metabolize NAD correctly. And it could place some more stress on your body than what you're already dealing with. And we don't want that. And that's why we take screening very seriously. Our priority is to ensure that every recommendation that we make here at Prime IV and Blue Belt is safe, supportive, and tailored to you. So every single wellness plan that we make for all of our clients is going to be tailored to you. So now let's talk about what a successful NAD or Niagen reboot actually looks like. So whether you're using NAD or Niagen, it's always recommended. Now, it's the same for both of them. So we always recommend starting with a series of 4 infusions as close together as possible, ideally within 28 days. So you get 4 infusions of what is probably going to be 500 milligrams. Ideally within 28, ideally as close together as possible every day for 4 days or every other day, however works best for you. We can talk about that during your consult. But as long as you get those 4 infusions within 28 days, that's the best. Why do we do this? Because most of us are walking around with our NAD levels down here, right? And we need that loading dose to bring us up here. Our goal is to get you from that quarter of a tank to the full tank all the way up here. And once we get that loading dose, we need to maintain it. And that's where that maintenance dose comes in. And I typically recommend a maintenance dose every other month to maintain results. But what I've found is a lot of our clients end up choosing monthly maintenance doses because they can actually feel when it's time. It's not necessarily a crash. It's like a subtle awareness, like, yep, my body's ready for the next one. Let me go get my Niagen, or let me text Aubrey and see when I can get in to get my next NAD boost. The best part is maintenance can be customized. So you can rotate between NAD and Niagen. So maybe you do your loading dose of Niagen and then you do NAD infusion once a month as your maintenance to keep your levels up here because they both do the same thing. They both have the same goal to keep your levels up. You can also do some NAD injections to keep your maintenance up. You can throw Niagen in your drip every other week or however you want to do it as part of, it's all about building a rhythm that works for you. And we're here during your consult to help you figure that out. And we want to figure out your rhythm. We want to figure out the plan that's best for you because not everyone is going to have the same plan, right? So this is our gift to you for showing up and coming out. Our VIP webinar exclusive offer. So what we're giving is we're giving 10% off for non-members, and this is on an infusion or a series of infusions, 10% off that package or even a single infusion. And then for members, so if you're already a member for us, our members already get a discount on NAD and Niagen, but we're going to stack on an additional 10% so that you can potentially get, 25% off, 30% off of NAD if you mention this webinar. And we're also going to include an NAD and/or Niagen consultation with one of our wellness nurses to walk you through your goals. We want to get you some clarity. All right. So thank you for joining. I'm going to look in the chat to see if there are any questions. Again, this is our digicard in the corner. Scan that QR code, reach out to us, schedule your consultation, get your 10% off or additional 10% off. Come see what we're about, see the other offerings that we have, watch our testimonials, get on that digicard. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to see if we have anything in the chat right now. I don't think that I have one. How long do the effects of Niagen typically last? That's a great question, Phil. So Niagen is longer than NAD. And that's why I say at least quarterly get your maintenance infusion. So If you were to get an infusion of just Niagen 500 milligrams today, you're going to feel that for a little bit, but think of it down here. Your NAD levels are down here. You get one 500 milligram infusion of Niagen, brings you up here. But remember, as we age, as we go through life experiences, we're still going to lose. Well, I'll go this way. We're still going to lose our NAD levels, right? So yeah, you might boost it up a little bit and you're going to feel great for a little bit. And I'd say it probably lasts around 3 months if you were to get that one infusion. Everyone's a little different. Everyone has different life experiences and things like that. And, other people are aging a lot faster, a lot of sun exposure, all the different things. Everyone may be a little different. Um, but, you build up your levels up here, get your maintenance, you're going to keep them up here. Uh, I hope that answers your question. But yeah, everyone's a little different, but I would say Niagen does last longer than NAD. See if we have any more. I don't have any in the chat. That was one in the Q&A. You can come off mute as well if you want to ask a question. Any more? Thank you for that question, Phil. That was a great question. Something that I've had in the past is post-surgery. That was from my last webinar is this good after I've had surgery? Well, when you go through surgery, that's a stressful time. Leading up to the surgery is stressful. Recovery is stressful. Some people have to be bedridden and go through the actual therapy. NAD can be helpful in that as well. And then in the past, which I've answered in my contraindication slide, is um, can cancer patients have this? No, cancer patients cannot have NAD because we are not sure, again, with studies and things like that, if NAD can differentiate which cells to replicate and which cells to not replicate. All right. Well, thank you everyone so much. That was about 28 minutes. That's great. That seems like what we average. I will be doing another one of these webinars in the future. I'm not sure of the topic just yet. NAD and Niagen seem to be the popular topic that people want to talk about. So this was requested again. Thank you so much for coming. If you have any other questions, feel free to text us on our number, 267-627-3023, and I will answer any questions via that text. That leads right to my phone. It is HIPAA compliant as well. And reach out to us if you want to come in for a consultation or even just talk about what your goals are. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great rest of your night.